Oh, you know I had to talk about that Bates Motel. We were talking Bates Motel spoiler review of Inseparable, and man, what an episode. Dylan's back. In this episode, we see the aftermath of last episode as Norman Bates, that is, he is disposing of the body. And he's, Norman's freaking out in this episode, honestly. And Norma, his psyche, she's just like, stop being a bitch, man. Just, just suck it up. I need you with me. We need to dump this body in the lake. And who's at the lake? The cops are at the lake. And the cops are starting to gather all those bodies, and especially the one body that the one lady cop came and told Norman that this guy's connected to Ramiro, connected to you. Eventually, she's gonna start thinking okay, these this is not a coincidence. And she does show up at Norman's hotel and starts questioning him a little bit. She still doesn't put two and two together. I think the most powerful thing about this episode was finally Dylan coming to the hotel, realizing that his mother is dead. And I love the breakdown that Dylan has about, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. He knows that Norman is involved with this. And then when he tries to go get his medication, what the craziest thing about this episode was that Norman he hasn't been talking to his therapist. He does meet his therapist at the one diner that one time, but apparently I don't know if I missed something, but he's pretty much dead. He's been missing for a year. He is gone. So I'm just I don't remember that. I don't remember the show ever showcasing him killing the therapist, and I'm just tripping fucking out. Fake Norma basically comes over, and Dylan's like, who are you? And she's like, oh, my husband, Norman knows, I know Norman, this and that. He hasn't come. I want to talk to Norman. I haven't seen my husband for a couple of days, or, I haven't seen my husband all night. I wanted to go see Norman. And Dylan says, you know what? Let me talk to him. He's not stable. He's just not in a good place. Let me talk to him first. So this whole episode was such good tension because it's Dylan and Norman, right? I love how they bring these characters back in a realistic kind of form. I mean, Dylan's sitting in the car waiting, looking at the house next to the hotel, and you see Norman just pull up right beside him, and it's this awkward moment where both of them in the car. Norman's like, "Yep, we're doing this. We're doing this," and he proceeds to make some lunch for him. But Dylan wants to get to the bottom of this. I mean, we have the scene where they're having dinner, and Norma is telling Norman to kill, not to kill him, but to get him out of here, And we, the audience, know that means Norma or Norman, whoever's in there, wants Dylan dead. And Dylan is in the dinner table. Norman's supposed to get him out of here, but Dylan's starting to put things together, man. He's starting to see some missing people. He's starting to see some situations. He sees that Norman's not taking his medication. His therapist has been missing. There's a lot of things and Dylan, that I love when he goes to Norman's like, I'm your brother. I love you. I'm not going to leave you. We need to figure this out. I'm here, Norman. We need to talk about this shit. Fuck this dinner. We need to talk about this. I want you to get help. I think you're sick. Here are some pills. And the actor did Dylan is a fantastic character. One of the best sentimental, down-to-earth characters. And his arc is absolutely magnificent in Bates Motel. I love this character so much. That's why there was so much tension. Norman does try to take the pill, but Norma takes over, and that scene was I was just glued to the television every time Dylan and Norman went together. But when Norma comes to play, when Norman acts like Norma and spouts some shit, and Dylan's face when he sees all this going down, because Dylan's on his kind of on his knee, or he's kind of on his knee, waiting for Norman to take a pill, and Dylan's just what the fuck? And I knew Dylan was in trouble. Dylan was in trouble, just the way that Norma was spouting her lines, and the dialogue was on point, man. The dialogue is basically what you would come to expect from this exchange, what you would come to expect with this meetup, what you come to expect with these characters at this point. That's why I love this episode so much. So when Norman bashes Dylan over the head with that glass, I'm like, fuck, no, not Dylan, not Dylan. Norman takes over, fights with himself, calls the police, says, I murdered everybody. Crazy ass episode. Dylan almost bit the dust. It's gonna be crazier next episode because we don't know where this is going, because this is a different interpretation of Alfred Hitchcock's classic Psycho. I love where this is going. I love the things that are happening. Romero has still yet to be in the scene. We did see a little bit of him in this episode, him trying to find a gun, him talking to seems like his childhood friend. So there is just a lot going on in this episode, like kind of just going towards the end of the run. But what was the focus and should have been the focus was Dylan and Norman, and it was beautiful. If I need a series, if I need a show from beginning to end, and I am so confident in these people to give me a fantastic ending to a fantastic show. This is one of the best shows ever. It's done everything right. It's delivered. It's paid homage to the classic Psycho, yet made it its own. It's exactly what people have always been saying about things being remade or things taking it another way. It stays true, yet it does what it needs to do to be different. And this will hands down be one of the greatest shows, one of the greatest takes on an Alfred Hitchcock's classic. And it's hard, it's Hitchcock. It is very hard to do what these people have done. And boy, I mean, if you're invested in the characters, you did your job. If you make some great witty dialogue and you're glued to the table and you're hearing what they're saying, you did your job. If you from season to season, the finales have been fantastic. Everybody's been wanting some more. Everybody can't wait for your season to come out. You've done your job. This is a fantastic show, and this was a fantastic episode. That's all I have to say about this episode. Fantastic dialogue, fantastic interactions. Episode moves so quick. Sometimes some of these episodes do feel a little bit lengthy, but I did not feel that way once Dylan came on board. Dylan is, because you know the history. It's a great little setup, man. It's a great little ways and smart write. It's smart writing, and it showcases in this episode. And it was great to see some things that you thought were going to happen end up not going the way you thought, and that's the beauty of it, because it was still great. So, thank you guys. I'm Dan the Mannequin Dan Son. You can find more of my videos on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe by all means, and comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I would love to talk about this episode. Till next time, see you guys later.